How y'all doing, YouTube? I haven't made a live video here in a while. I'm gonna go ahead and do a little live video because there's a lot of things that are happening right now in this community and this practice. That is sad. The level of information that is going on out there. You know, the first thing I want to say is a lot of practitioners from other communities, other practices, which everybody has their opinion, but I'm going to give you my opinion on this. Where many practitioners from other practices claim that because Miticaticua or Santísima Muerte is made of plaster, or she is made of a certain material, that is fake and that is not legit, right? But yet, those practitioners and worship rocks say they trap energies on rocks, on sticks. And I'm not attacking that community that I'm saying. I'm just saying, think about it, use common sense, right? Or they trap energies in shells, but that's fine, right? Everything that we use on this earth comes from this earth. Whether it's plaster, whether it's metal, whatever you're doing, whether it's cement, it's from the earth. There's not one thing, sorry about that, my dog is going crazy. There's not one thing that a human has invented that is not already on this earth or has not been already on this earth. Whether it's medicine that comes from herbs, whether it's chemicals that come from plants, there's not one thing. I think that people really need to study a tradition, study a practice, or study a religion before people start talking about something they have no knowledge of. Okay? Now, yes, there is a difference between people who want to practice New Age, and there's a difference between people that are traditional, that want to practice a traditional way. When I say traditional way, is when you include the Aztec tradition, right? Where you say Micantlicutli or Micaticua instead of just Santa Muerte, right? There are differences in every tradition and every practice, every belief needs to be respected. Because what works for you might not work for me. What works for me might not work for you. Everybody has their own opinion, which is fine. Okay? Now I'm gonna be here talking about our belief system and that traditional, right? When we say Mikatikwa. That is a traditional practice that goes back to indigenous practice, Mayan practice, Nahual practice, Aztec practice, right? Because in order for you to understand the original tradition or the indigenous tradition, you must understand history. So I urge you to do your research before you even think about getting yourself in a practice. Who am I devoting myself to? Who am I giving my energies to? Who am I sharing my energies with, right? There's nothing wrong with saying I'm gonna practice with the New Age statue. That's fine, right? Because that is where you started or where you put your faith in, right? In our tradition, and I'm gonna say something. This is something that we make here. I make him too. Personally, this is something I made. This is what we follow, right? Where we call a Mitzikatzikwa. For us, that is the Santísima Muerte, but it's the original or traditional one, right? By the way, I'm gonna put a link if you guys are interested in this. I'm not trying to sell you, but for those, because I know you're gonna ask, where can I get the statue? I make this myself. I'm gonna put a link up there where they're gonna be available. Okay? But I'm not here trying to sell you anything. I'm giving you guys a little bit of knowledge what traditional practice means. Traditional practice, mitsikatsikwa, is a practice of nature. Okay? We always say the only one stopping you is you. The only one putting obstacles in your life is you. In this tradition, there's no, I cannot do this, I cannot do this, I cannot do that. In this tradition, we don't have 10 commandments, right? The only rules that you put are the ones you put yourself as a human being, where you say, these are my limits and I'm not gonna cross my limits. For example, I will not take a person's life with this practice, okay? Because yes, can you do that? Yes, you can. But we don't put obstacles, we don't put limits. The only limits you put are the ones that you put yourself. Because once we start going into rules, right, following rules, following commandments, now you put obstacles, now you're stopping yourself. Because you say, oh, I can't really do this and I cannot do that. I understand rules are made, right? But remember, rules are made by human. Those rules were made by a man or a female, which are humans. Those are man-made rules. Those are not the rules of nature. Nature has no rules, right? This is a nature practice. That means we do a lot of things in nature, whether it's from healing, whether it's from doing good, or whether it's doing bad, okay? Because the one that really does the bad is you. The one that does the good is you. You yourself as a practitioner. Because it starts with an idea in your head, and then you do what the purpose of the idea that came into your head. You execute that idea, right? It's not that she's in your head, oh, you got to do this and you got to do some bad thing. No, you decide whether you do good or you decide whether you do bad as somebody who practices spirituality, right? Somebody who practices what we call, quote unquote, labor espiritual, or magic, or spell working. Is an idea that started with you and you executed that idea. But you are using her as a tool, or say, well, she's the one doing it. No, she's not. You're the one doing it, right? That's our belief system in the traditional way. Okay? So we go out in the woods, we do cleansing in the woods with what Mother Nature has given us. Because, for example, I'm here in the United States. I'm in Houston, Texas, right? I don't have the herbs that are in Mexico, the herbs that are in Central America. So I got to work with what nature gave me, what nature has surrounded me with, right? And that's our practice, where we go and we learn about the different types of herbs, okay? This is the traditional way. Is not a practice where we just pray, 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 and ask, ask, ask. It's not. Because we don't use prayers that are from books. Because what happens when you, first of all, let me tell you something. A prayer that are on books are man-made prayers. Those prayers don't come from here, okay? Those prayers are not coming from here. Those prayers are not coming from here. When you read a prayer that is in the book, and I say again, if you practice that way, that's your decision. I'm not here putting you down. I'm not here talking bad about that. I'm not here talking bad about the New Agers. Your faith is your faith. I'm no one to go against your faith, right? But what I'm specificating, and what I'm talking specifically, is about a traditional, right? A nature, an indigenous, an Aztec practice, where I think that has been lost. And that's what we're trying to revive here, right? So, prayer. When we start reciting a prayer that some human made and put it, that prayer was something that worked for them, right? Or they just probably say, well, I'm going to make this prayer to help people out. That's fine, right? But prayer and reality comes from your heart. Because there's a certain feeling, there's a certain energy that you have to start vibrating. Remember, everything is vibration, right? Everything is waves. Everything is the way how you vibrate, the energies that you in tune, right? The energies that you put yourself into. Some of you might agree with me, some don't. I really don't care. I'm talking to those who are interested in this, okay? So your body starts vibrating in a certain level. You get into a certain stage, right? And then you need to learn how to control those energies and send those energies where you're wishing to send those energies, right? Whether it's for good things or whether it's for bad things. Okay? Same thing. When we go and work in nature, this is a nature-based religion, right? Or practice. Let's say practice. The certain herbs are vibrating at a certain level at a certain time. This is an airy practice, okay? So we as indigenous, or we that practice that type of knowledge, right, go out at a certain time to pick their herbs, right? Not necessarily do they have to be herbs from the original country where this started. Because by the time, one, you don't know who is picking those herbs. You don't know what energy that person has within them that they transfer their energy into those herbs, right? And by the time they get here, those herbs are not longer with life. We want fresh herbs that have life. That's the traditional practice and what we teach. The traditional practitioners teach is about how the herbs, how we manipulate, how we use those energies, right? When somebody comes here that is in a state that they're having a lot of issues or they're sick, what we're trying to do is transfer the energies from those herbs into the human body because we are of nature. Everybody that is born is also born to die, born to pass away. Nobody here in this earth is eternal, according to my knowledge, right? There might be some weird people out there. We don't know that, right? But nobody is eternal. From the earth we come, to the earth we go back. It doesn't matter if you get cremated, your ashes will be somewhere. Even if you decided to keep it in your house, but later on, those ashes might end up going into the beach, to the ocean, to the ground, back to nature. You are recycled back to nature. For example, when somebody passes away, and most people are buried, they're buried in the casket. Your body starts deteriorating, right? You have body that starts decomposing. You have different things that come out of your body, like maggots. Here come the birds, right, or whatever animal picks on those maggots. Now your energy becomes part of that bird, part of that chicken or rooster, part of whatever ate those maggots, right? You are now become. Something else comes and eats those other things. Now your energy becomes part, right? And it recycle, right? Here comes the birds that ate those maggots. It poops, boom, into the ground. Now you became part of the ground. They probably ate some seeds, and now that tree grows. Now that tree has a part of your spirituality, a part of the ancestor spirituality. Everything is recycled, right? This is what traditional practice, right? I have no idea what the New Age practice, but I still respect that, okay? And those are the energies we use to work with, okay? I know it might sound sick what I just explained. Maybe I didn't explain it the correct way, but I hope you guys understand what I'm explaining, what I'm talking about, okay? This is what we try to teach, what we try to the knowledge that we try to make it survive, okay? Now, this is a traditional practice. A lot of people listen to my videos, and it's so sad that they don't listen to what I say. And not out of respect that they don't agree. It's that they don't listen to what I say, and then they come and say, well, the truthmonger is saying that Santa Muerte is part of this tradition. No, Santa Muerte is a tradition and a practice within its own. Okay? I repeat that. When you work with Mitikatikwa, it's a practice, it's a tradition within its own. This is a tradition that is not part of, for example, Ocha. Santeria is not part of that, right? But there are different types of santerias. One that people have a lot of different saints. And now is the new age that you have all these Catholic saints and you call yourself Santero. But what I'm saying is I'm talking about Ocha, the practice of Lukumi. Has nothing to do with that. And the practice of La Regla de Congo, for example, Palo Monte, Mayombe, Brigumba, Kimbisa, Santo Cristo, Buen Viaje, what we call Palo, right? She has nothing to do with that because she is a practice within own, right? So I want to clarify that because then they're saying, oh, the truth monger is saying this and this. What I say in my videos is, Whatever you do in your home, behind hidden doors, that's up to you. Can I infuse this energy and start a work here and then get this energy transferred to another thing? I can. Me, myself, I've done it. I can. Because at the end of the day, it's the results that you give your client or the results that you are trying to get is what matters. Everything else doesn't. But as a private practice, you cannot do that and then say, "Oh, I'm gonna get this statue, right? I'm gonna get this statue, and then I'm gonna put this inside a palo mayombe or kimbisa or whatever thing inside that cauldron, and use their energy and take pictures and stuff." That is no, that is facenda. That is not good. Okay, it's infusing the energies where people are getting confused, right? Now, everything has to do with nature. In the practice of Mayom of the Regla de Congo, right? We go out there and we get what we call a matari, right? And then we put energies in the matari, and then we put stuff in inkunis or incunias and sticks. We put energy. So when people claim that because this is made of plaster, or this is made of cement, or this is made of a clay, it has no life, no energy. The energy is the energies that you put in there, right? But it's okay that sticks have energy. It's okay that a rock. You understand the hypocrisy that is going out there, and where they put a certain tradition down. Why is it that a lot of people do that? Because of this, right? Because as anybody could practice traditional, and here we have no, oh, because you are this skin color, or because you are this preference, sexual preference, or because you are different and you're not Latino, you're not Mexican, you're not Hispanic, you cannot practice this. No, because death has no preference. Death doesn't care if you're gay, if you're straight, if you're yellow, you're pink, you're purple, you're blue, you're short, you're tall, you're female, you're male. Death does not care. We are all born to die, and eventually it's going to come for us. Whether you believe it's the death of this practice, the death of this practice, or the death energy of this practice, it'll come for you. We are all born to die. So I think I said that enough, and I think it's going to make sense to you, right? I don't have to keep repeating myself. Okay. Everything is nature. It's recycled, right? From a dirt that you can use, and you're going to be, well, the Aztec were not known. Did you do your research? The Aztec also had names of the different, what we say, the different poles, right? North, south, east, west, right? They also had energies or gods of the wind, right? Within other traditions. It's the same thing that is in most tradition, because it's indigenous. We all come from the same place, right? When we go and do our DNA test, we do a family tree. You can be white as snow. You're gonna have some African, and you're gonna have some Polynesian, some indigenous stuff in your blood. We all come from the same seed, right? Unless you're a freaking alien and your seed comes from somewhere else. We all come from the same land or the same where life started, right? According to the scientists. Okay, the spirit might say something else. Here, as in the traditional practice, we say there's no right and there's no wrong. When you mess up, when you make a mistake, then you have learned a lesson and you will not repeat. That is your biggest teacher that you will have. That's the biggest mentor that you will have. It's called mistakes, learning from your own mistakes. We as spiritual teachers of this tradition as Miskatsikwa are only here to give you advice. We are not here and say, look, take this thing right here and you're gonna start shooting lightning bolts out of your ass and you're gonna have power. We don't say that. What we try to do here is awaken the power and the gift that a creator has given you, because you are born with certain gifts. What we try to do here is help you awaken. Because the first step we take here is knowing yourself, knowing who you are, knowing your limits, knowing the energies within you. Understand yourself first before we tap into the spiritual realm, before we start manipulating energies, right? Before we start manipulating the wind, right? We start manipulating the fire, manipulating the earth, and manipulating the air, right? Why do we say that those are important elements? Why do we breathe? We are breathing air. Air is within us. What is the skin? Where does our body go and recycle? The earth, right? You are flesh. You are made from the ground, right? What is our body made of? 90%. The blood that runs on the veins that look like the river, because we have the earth within ourselves, right? Veins break up. Now you have something that looks like the branch of a tree. Now you look something that looks like the rivers. Water, right? Our bodies are made of 90% water. What happens when you're cold? What happens when you get pissed off? You create heat, internal heat. So you, as a person, have the four elements within you. And that's how we learn how to manipulate things to make things happen. Okay? In the traditional practice, we learn history, we learn where this comes from, but at the same time, we also learn how to manipulate those energies. And it could be easy as transmitting those energies into a candle, right? And then we put fire in the candle, that energy starts burning up and the energy rises. Do we need a candle? No, we don't. We just need this and then understanding how to control the energy ascended. We could do it with a glass of water. We could program water. We could program fire. We could send the thoughts into the wind when the right wind, right? The right time when the wind is blowing hard, we say, okay, this wind is blowing very hard. It's going to get this energy faster to where I want, right? This current in the river is rolling very fast. If I put this energy, it's going to travel very fast to where I want it to come. Or we just say it up to the universe. We manifest. It's nothing that other practices don't have. It's almost the same thing, but with a different culture, a different way of speaking. Do you have to learn Aztec? Do you have to learn Nagua? No, because the spirit is intelligent. The spirit will understand you when you speak from here, right? And when you see it here, you put a feeling, you want to see it in your mental, and that's the communication that we have. And that's the best prayer. And understanding that we don't put anything to stop you. No rules to stop you. Because once you put rules, you're stopping yourself. Now you as a practitioner, as somebody spiritual could say, well, I know where my limits are. That, for example, is if you already practice and somebody comes to you and say, no, what this person is asking me is not that it's complicated. It's not that I cannot do. It's just not ethical. I will do some harm to other people. I will destroy a family, right? I will hurt somebody where the energies are kin. That's where you say, this is my limits, okay? Candles in this practice doesn't matter. The Aztecs in reality didn't have candles until the Europeans came, right? We use fire. We burnt pine tree resin. We use oils. Or we just laid up fire on things, right? There were no candles until the European came. The candle is a tool to help you get or manifest, right? It's just a tool. Candle's a tool. Because even when the European came, they didn't have blue candles, they didn't have pink candles, they didn't have yellow candles. They had probably white, a bone color, or an ivory color candle, or probably like a white with a little bit of yellowish. You understand the point, right? And that's how the candle was introduced. But in reality, the candle color doesn't matter. What matters is the flame. What matters is the intentions. What matters is the energies that you put into the candle. What matters is the tools that you dress the candle with. Everything is a tool. For example, this oil that I make, right? And I'm not trying to sell you anything, but I'm going to show you a product, right? This oil that I make, right? It says love and money, right? Sorry, protection and money. This oils is made from plants, from herbs, and you just squeeze a little bit, and then what you start doing is rubbing that oil and the candle. What are we doing when we're rubbing that on the candle, right? We are transferring or transmitting energies from ourselves into that tool. And it's a tool that will help us believe. It's a little boost to help us believe in what we're doing, that we're doing the things correct, right? And we are transmitting that, right? We are rubbing that candle and we're putting our own energies, our own thoughts, our own intention in that candle. Then we light it up. And then all that energy gets heat up, it gets expanded, travels into the ether, travels into the universe. It starts at energy and it comes back down into what you wish. Okay? And this is not about, I don't want to say words that you feel like I'm putting down another tradition or another practice with her. Well, I'm not gonna go there. I'm gonna be quiet. Because when I say things, people are saying he's crazy, está loco, está pendejo, right? But then they go around and copy what I say and put it in their teachings, right? Like nobody was using that campanita until I started using that campanita. Now a lot of people are like ding, 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 right? Because yes, their statue is hollow, right? It's hollow. But inside, we pack it. And that's what we do that. We pack it with the energy, we pack it with something to bring this statue into life. If it's hollow, and we pack it with your own stuff, right? Then I'm not going to go into those because those are secrets. And then it's given to you, okay? But it doesn't matter whether you have a statue or not. What matters is your belief, your faith, that things are going to happen. At the end of the day, that's what matters. It's your faith, your belief, and understanding yourself. You are her, and she is you. Whether it be in the masculine form or whether it be in the feminine, whether it be mitikatikwa or it be mikatlikutli, right? Whatever energy of death is the one that goes with you, because everybody has a different spiritual path. Everybody's human, and the color here doesn't matter. But everybody has what we call a spiritual path. For example, you're going to see a whole bunch of palm trees, right? And you're going to say, wow, look at all those 15 palm trees. And the species is a palm tree. The species is a palm tree. The species is human, right? But you're going to see that those palm trees have a different way they're growing. Some might be crooked, growing this way. Some of the branches might be going this way. Other branches are going to go here from the other tree. Some are going to be taller. Some are going to be shorter, right? Some are going to be more spread out. Means every palm tree has a different path, a different look to it, but the species is a palm tree. Every human is going to be a different color. We'll have different taste. We'll have different sexual preferences, short, tall, and every human has its own spirituality, spiritual path. And that's just not taught in Mitikatikwa. It's taught in other traditions as well. Okay? So we are not so different in the way we practice. Okay? I haven't made videos here in a long time. Why? Because I have now my own Facebook page, my own group page where people come, and I am very careful who I choose. I will leave the description to the group page here, but we have our admins and monitors who go and see everybody's things. And I know most of you have written to me, well, I've been trying to get into your page, but you have not accepted me. Well, if you don't have a picture, I will not accept you. If you are there to promote and sell things, I will not accept you. If you're one of those person who goes into the page and starts messaging people, I have a message to you from my ancestors and the higher spirits. We know who those peoples are, right? You're not gonna be accepted, and you're gonna, if you are, by mistake, you get deleted right away. Okay? We ask for respect. You can promote, I mean, you can do your own thinking, your own videos, and explain yourself, talk about things. We have no issues with that, right? We have people that are new agers that come and look and spend time with us, and we talk and stuff. They see the videos, they see the lives, but they respect. And that's what we say, respect. Because we respect every tradition, we respect every belief system. Am I to judge you? We don't know everything. I don't claim to know everything. What we are doing is passing down the traditional knowledge of those who came before me, what we were taught, right? I am Nagual Pipil, okay? So we are teaching that. And I come from a different tribe or a different village or in a different indigenous place. And there's other indigenous place they might teach different. That's fine, okay? But again, we don't follow 10 commandments because there are no rules. There's no 10 commandments with us. And I'm not dishing the other people. If you guys want to follow 10 commandments and be more Christian, that's fine. This is a tradition that was before Christianity, okay? Before Christianity came. This has nothing to do with Jesus. It has nothing to do with La Virgen de Guadalupe, the Virgin Mary. No, it doesn't. This is pre-Christianity, because what happened, and it happens everywhere when a certain country or a certain group come in and take over, right? It happened in Africa, and it happened with the Mayans, it happened with the Aztecs, it happened everywhere. And we're seeing it today, Russia trying to go and invade Ukraine, right? It keeps happening. But in those times, what happens is those people came, right? I'm going to say the European, right? Because what happened back then, I don't keep it in here and say, well, you guys came and enslaved my people. That's between them, my ancestors and them. Now we're in a new time. I'm not gonna have that grudge in here, right? So when the Europeans came, they enslaved the Aztecs, right? And they made them dig for gold. They raped the females. We know that it happens in everything, right? A man is a man. They raped the female. They told them your name isn't gonna be this name anymore. They take away the indigenous name. Now your name is Pedro, your Pablo, Jesus, Marco, whatever, right? The females, Maria, Teresa, all these things, right? So just like every other culture, our ancestor hid their knowledge behind the Catholic tradition. So that knowledge will survive, just like every other culture. It happens in every other culture, right? But now we are in new times. We are in a new place where now we have the freedom, at least here in the United States, we have the freedom to practice what we want. Why not go back to our heritage? Why not go back into our roots, right? And that's all we're trying to do. Say, okay, now we're free to practice. Let's go back into the roots. Let me show you what the indigenous people did, right? Or what the indigenous people practice, what the indigenous believe in. Everything with it has the indigenous as nature. From a little leaf that has food alive and how to use that, right? Because when you drink an aspirin, when you drink a Tylenol, when you drink a Motrin, where do you think that comes from? Everything comes from nature, from the earth. We need the earth in order for us to survive or to heal. But can you go up to a tree and say, Father Tree, I'm having this. Father Tree, energize me. Either hug the tree, and you're going to be, oh, that looks a little bit weird, me hugging a tree. Who cares what people think? That you are getting energy and transferring that energy from the tree into your body. You can sit down next to the tree, put yourself here, the tree is here, you just relax. You go into this deep state and let that you transform energies from the tree. Can you yourself, if you see a tree that is dying, also transfer energy from you to that tree? Yes, because it's a connection. We are nature as well. Everything we can tap in every part of nature. This is what the traditional indigenous Mikatlikutli, Mikatikwa, Tolak, right, teaches us. Okay. Now, guys, I have, like I said, for those interested, okay, I'm not here to sell you anything, but I'm also want to take advantage to promote my products. For those interested, I put a link in the description that will take you to the spiritual shop where you can get those oils. We're gonna upload the statue. There's two oils that I have. One is love oil, self love, love oil, money and protection, and I also have a few soaps in there. But that's also my wife's Estes page shop, and you're gonna find many other things in there that is not just with Mitikatikwa or Mikatlikutli, okay? Any questions? And I'm also gonna put the link to the page, the Facebook page where you can join, okay? And that's it. And the reason why I don't make that much videos here anymore, because I'm making videos on the Facebook. Because there we respect each other and we don't have to listen to the BS that's going on out there, okay? You all have a blessed day. Any questions, just feel free to comment on this video. Have a blessed day.